This is GARIS, Masculist, MGTOW flyers. That is 2 3-page essays on the themes of masculism and MGTOW, written by and read aloud by Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. This is flyer number 469, part 2, entitled Who's Who in the Manosphere? Carrying straight on. Header, Masculist. Player, de Garis, Masculist, MGTOW flyers. That is Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. That is me. Description. As a masculist, I'm the odd man out in this entire list. Most of the players in this list are MGTOW psychologists. That is, they analyse female psychology and complain about the oppression of the traditional male role of being the breadwinner, that is, being a man-slave on the plantation. What the MGTOWs do not do is fight to change the gender political status quo. Masculists, however, are fighters. They are political. They harangue. They lash out at women's financial parasitism. They castigate fluffy feminist hypocrisy in the divorce courts. They beat the feminists at their own game, pushing women to vote with men for the men-fairing of the gender laws. For example, in the divorce courts, for the legislation of the para, that's paternity, rejection right, etc. Masculists use MGTOW tactics of not marrying and rejecting paternity to punish women for not fipping up. In brackets, that's becoming FIPS equals financially independent persons, by getting a career competent education at high school and college. Masculists see MGTOWs as apolitical wimps who quietly, passively walk away from marriage and paternity, showing no solidarity for the gender plight of men. Masculists are abolitionists who see manslavery as slavery and hence something to be hated. Masculists have a hatred of manslaving fluffy parasites and an even greater hatred of fluffy feminist hypocrites who have taken over the divorce courts, financially crucifying and destroying the lives of one father in 4. In brackets, a fluffy is a masculist term for a traditional woman who expects to be able to parasite off the money and labour of a man, thus man-slaving him for years. Fluffy feminists are hypocrites because they want equal rights with men in the parliaments, but reject equal obligations with men in bothering to share equally with men the burden of earning the living, by not bothering to fip up and behaving as fluffy parasites in the divorce courts. Masculists are fighters. They harangue feminazi bitches out of the room with angry masculist vitriol, masculist anger, masculist ideas, masculist rhetoric, making it very clear to women that gender oppression is a two-way street, and that in fact women oppress men far worse, since even rape is small beer in comparison to women's decades-lasting gender crimes against men. For example, women's decades-lasting financial parasitism of men, paternity fraud, pill lying, rejection of the para when women have the mara, etc. Masculists aim to create a FIP society by forcing women to FIP up or rot on the shelf, being rejected by masculisted and MGTOWed men for not bothering to FIP up. Masculists want the laws changed. For example, parliamentary gender equality committees need to be set up in the parliaments to men-fair the gender laws, reform the divorce courts, legislate the para, etc. Masculists have mixed feelings about the MGTOWs. They see MGTOWs as good psychologists, especially with analysis of female nature, but on the other hand as gutless, useless, apolitical wimps, and hence contemptible because they are not fighters, not out to change the gender laws so that men can be liberated from their many gender oppressions coming from the law and from women. Link to channel, https://profhugodegaris, that's in small letters, all one word, PROFHUGODEGARIS wordpress.com/ one word masctemp, that's MASCTEMP / topic: others. Player: Human, which is a pseudonym, spelled little h, little u, capital M, capital A, capital N. Short description: Human is an Aussie, that is Australian, with a reflective psychological personality who thinks about why traditional male and female norms and expectations are actually harmful. Link to channel: https://www.youtube.com/c/little h, little u, capital M, capital A, capital N, little s, _ channel. Player: Replicant fish, that's spelled, well, it's all one word, capital R, and then little EPLICANT, capital PHISH, pseudonym. Short description: Replicant fish is probably the dumbest MGTOW in this list, but appeals to the more piquant, that is average Joe, MGTOW. He constantly interrupts his monologue with flashes of comments from animated characters that become tiresome over time. Link to channel: https://www.youtube.com/watch, that's WATCH, little v equals capital D, little P, 5, little O, capital A, 6, little b, capital N, little u, capital Z or Z, capital Y, and then click on show more. Player: Alexander Grace, that's by Alexander Grace, Grace, that's his real name. Short description: Grace is another Aussie, a bit more upmarket version of Replicant Fish, who delves more deeply into the psychology of women and how women's expectations of men can harm men. Link to channel: https://www.patreon.com/posts, POSTS/all-my-patreon-3724130. Player: Redonkulous, that's by Terence Pop. Redonkulous is spelled capital REDONKULAS. Short description: Terence Pop is an ex-Marine who pretends to be a bit of an alcoholic while emphasizing humour, which he is good at. He hits hard at the mass carnage of men in the divorce courts and has no patience with traditional expectations on men by women. He is older than most MGTOWs and has been through the divorce mill, so speaks with very persuasive experience. He softens his hard-hitting blows with humour, a quite effective approach. Link to channel: http://www.redonkulous, spelling again, capital R and then small letters, EDONKULAS.com. Player: Better Bachelor, or Joker, that's a pseudonym. Short description: Better Bachelor, or Joker, is a watered down version of most MGTOWs, but gets his message across by using real world cases of usually women and their stupidities in the dating world. He pulls punches, trying to stay clear of the hated censorship of YouTube, so his presentation often appears bland. He's a bit of a milksop. Link to channel: https:// all one word, betterbachelor.locals.com. Player: Strong Successful Male, which is a pseudonym. Description: Strong successful male typically reads out some text from a man or a woman, then dissects it using MGTOW values. His general approach gives the impression that he aims to belittle female stupidity and to bolster male pride by displaying how men hit back at female bitchery. Link to channel: https://strongsuccessfulmale, all in small letters, one word, .locals, that's locals.com. Cheers. Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. Email profhugodegaris@yahoo.com. Website profhugodegaris.wordpress.com. Author of the book Masculism, Men's Rebellion Against Being Man's Slaves to Women, an e-textbook of 460 plus Masculist flyers for men's studies courses, freely downloadable in MS Word format from my website. Ciao.